Welcome back to Capital Catch-Up. I'm Victor.
And I'm Lenny. Today, we are looking at a slate of legislation from February 2026 that touches on everything from your tax returns to the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East.
We have a lot of ground to cover, so let's get right into the legislative calendar. There is a significant focus on economic relief and infrastructure in the House right now. We are looking at House Resolution 7303, titled the Middle Class Tax Cut Act.
That's right, Victor. While the text is complex, the title signals a clear legislative priority. This moves alongside House Resolution 7302, the Digital Literacy and Equity Act of 2026. It's interesting to see these paired. You have a direct financial incentive in the tax cut, but H.R. 7302 acknowledges that in 2026, economic participation requires digital fluency. If you can't navigate the digital infrastructure, a tax cut only helps so much.
Precisely. And speaking of infrastructure, the Senate is taking a very specific look at water management. We have Senate Bill 3736 regarding the Dakota Mainstem Water Supply Project and Senate Bill 3732, the Water Security and Drought Resilience Act.
That Drought Resilience Act is crucial. We've seen water rights become a flashpoint in the West for decades now. This builds on previous legislative attempts to modernize how we handle the Colorado River Basin and other critical watersheds. It's not just about having water, it's about the national security implications of running out of it.
Security is a major theme this session. On the Senate side, we have Senate Bill 3741, the Biosecurity Modernization and Innovation Act of 2026. Given the global health landscape of the last decade, updating our biodefense framework is long overdue. But Lenny, there's a bill here regarding law enforcement that caught my eye. Senate Bill 3731, the Cost of Police Misconduct Act of 2026.
This is a heavy hitter, Victor. Historically, liability for police misconduct has often fallen on municipal budgets, meaning taxpayers foot the bill. While we wait for the full text analysis, a bill with this title suggests a move to shift that financial burden, perhaps to insurance mandates or police pension funds. It's a structural attempt to incentivize reform through economics rather than just policy oversight.
Shifting gears to social safety nets, the House is introducing House Resolution 7677, the TANF Hygiene Access Act. TANF stands for Temporary Assistance for Needy Families.
This is a really tangible change for low-income Americans. For years, government assistance programs often restricted the purchase of hygiene products, treating them as non-essential. This bill looks to rectify that, acknowledging that things like diapers and soap are necessities, not luxuries.
On the more contentious side of the House, we have House Resolution 7673, titled the Ice Out of Our Faces Act, and House Resolution 7678, the Riley-Gaines Act.
Those titles certainly suggest a heated debate. The Riley-Gaines Act likely pertains to women's sports and gender definitions, a polarizing topic that has been building momentum in state legislatures for years now. Meanwhile, H.R. 7673 appears to be a direct challenge to the visibility and operational scope of immigration and customs enforcement.
And that ties directly into the committee schedule. The Committee on Homeland Security held a hearing on February 10th titled Weaponized Mass Migration, a Security Risk to Europe and the United States. It's clear that immigration enforcement and border security remain dominant themes.
Absolutely. And we can't ignore the foreign policy developments. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee held a hearing on Syria at a crossroads, U.S. policy challenges post-Assad.
That post-Assad framing is significant. It implies a major shift in the region. This hearing pairs with Senate Bill 3740, the Save the Kurds Act. The Kurds have been pivotal U.S. allies in the fight against ISIS, but their position is often precarious. This legislation likely aims to codify security guarantees or humanitarian aid to protect that alliance in this new Syrian era.
We also have a long list of nominations moving through. Presidentially appointed positions are filling up. We saw Christopher T. Hansen reappointed to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission for a term ending in 2029.
And a new director for the National Park Service, Scott Socha. He's walking into a busy role. There is a markup session involving over a dozen bills related to public lands. One that stood out is House Resolution 3706, the Sushi Act, Standards for Understanding Source and Habitat Identification.
I love the acronyms Congress comes up with. Despite the fun name, that's actually a consumer protection and environmental bill, ensuring that the seafood on your plate is actually what the menu claims it is. Fraud in the seafood industry is a massive underreported issue.
There is also House Resolution 5497, the Apostle Islands National Park and Preserve Act, and Senate Bill 3735, the Prohibit Partisan Park Passes Act. That last one sounds like a reaction to specific administrative actions regarding who gets access to public lands.
It does. It sounds like an effort to keep public lands truly public, preventing them from being used as political bargaining chips. Before we move on, Victor, we need to talk about the Veterans Affairs Committee hearing on the digital GI Bill undelivered.
Right. This hearing addressed contracting challenges and acquisition reform. When the GI Bill benefits get stuck in IT purgatory, real veterans lose housing and tuition payments. This oversight hearing is trying to figure out why the digital rollout failed. It pairs well with Senate Bill 3739, the Veterans Hearing Aid Improvement Act of 2026, which attempts to fix specific healthcare gaps.
Finally, looking at the congressional daily records from February 10th through the 17th, volumes 172, numbers 28 through 32, we see the formal logging of these debates. For our listeners who love the weeds, reading the extension of remarks in these records often gives you the best insight into why a representative sponsored a specific bill.
It's also where you find the procedural moves. We saw a few markups scheduled. For those who don't know, a markup is the phase where a committee literally marks up the text of a bill, adding amendments and changing language before sending it to the floor. It's where the real sausage is made.
Exactly. So what should we watch for in the coming days? Keep an eye on the Middle Class Tax Cut Act. If that moves to a floor vote, it will dominate the news cycle.
And watch the nominations. With new Assistant Secretaries of State for International Organizations and Oceans being vetted, specifically Jeremy Carl and Wesley Brooks, we are seeing a reshaping of the diplomatic corps that will define the administration's foreign policy for the next 2 years.
That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in to Capital Catch-Up.
We'll be back next time to break down the votes. Stay informed.